Hello, hello, everybody. How are we doing today? It's Wednesday, and I keep thinking it's Monday. It's just been one of those weeks. So today we have married Alba, and she is going to be joining us and letting us know what she's going to talk about at which city tarot gathering and all that good stuff. And I see she just popped on, so let's get her on here. Wait. I feel like I always need like the Jeopardy music when we're waiting for this to pop on.
Hey!
There you are! Hello!
Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good.
All right, I'll
Very good.
take it.
Yeah.
All right, so welcome everybody. We have Mary Dalba on today. Yay! So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am what I call myself a spiritual practitioner, a holistic practitioner. I'm a witch, of course. And one of the things that I really love to do is hypnosis. And so this weekend, I'm going to be doing past life regressions, but I also do a lot of tarot readings, mediumship readings, just anything that people need as far as their healing and their growth. And that's what I do.
Oh, I love that. So when did you start like diving into all this?
Well, I love to tell the story. My mother hates when I tell this story, but
All right,
when
so
I
it's
was about
already good.
right, um, when I was about 15, my mom took me to a witch shop in Salem, and she purchased a deck of tarot cards for me, and she said to me, "Oh, that'll be a phase. Don't worry about it. You'll just play with them for a while." And I'm 50 this year. So I've been playing with them for a long time.
That's a phase. That
Um,
is a good phase.
yeah, it's an excellent phase. I agree. It's an excellent phase. And what happens, I think, in the spiritual world is sometimes you just start, um, learning new things, and then you want to learn more things. And so then I, learned about Reiki, and I learned about mediumship, and it just, I'm still to this day, I think it's really important we keep learning. So, that's yeah, that's the process. But there's always something new to learn in the spiritual realm, in any realm, I guess. So.
Yes, no, that's very true. And it is like we kind of start with one thing, and I like how you just call yourself just like a practitioner, because it is once you start trying to like read off all the things that you do, because we are just like trying to suck up all the things. And it's like, well,
It's true.
how much time do you have? Because I have a lot of things here.
Right. Exactly. And then you're like, well,
And
then
it's
what do I do?
right. And
Yeah.
and I think half the time we tell people what we do and they just look at you anyway, like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what was that first deck of cards that you bought? Like, do you remember what they were?
Oh, yeah, of course. Rider Waite. It was the
Yeah,
Rider Waite. I had to get, that's what everybody got. They got the Rider Waite. So,
right.
yeah. And, I still pick up that deck from time to time, but as you also probably know, um, you start getting into buying decks. So
Oh,
I have
yeah.
quite a few.
Acquiring all the decks. Yeah,
Yes.
I have a
Acquiring them.
few
Yes.
overflowing onto the floor. Just a few. It's it.
Just a couple. Just a
No,
couple.
here and there. It's double digits. What's that?
Yeah.
It's nothing. So then, how did you start doing hypnosis?
Well, so that was one of those things where I was doing Reiki, and one of my clients had asked me if I did hypnosis too. She was wondering, and I said, no, I'm not, I'm not doing that. And then something in my head said, yet. And so I went online and I found this amazing teacher, Julie Griffin, who owns the hypnotherapy training company. And I took one class with her and I was hooked. It was, a standard class on how to learn the mechanics of it. And then we started going into topics like medical hypnosis, um, past life regression, anything, to meet your spirit guides. I worked with athletes to get a better golf game or a better hockey game. I was working with some BU players at one point, BU hockey players. So it really kind of opened up this world of whatever you have going on, you can work with your mind, because we have to take the holistic approach, right?
Right.
So you can work with your mind to, um, see if you can add that into your repertoire of your healing.
Hmm.
And I've just seen some amazing things happen with people. I mean, an easy one, well, which is not so easy for people to do, is quitting smoking. Like I've seen people do that with one session, and
Oh, wow.
that's, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
super awesome.
yeah,
That's super awesome. So,
yeah.
what advice do you have for people who are super interested and are looking for somebody to work with? And what is some advice you have for them?
Yeah. That's an awesome question. I it really is. I'm like, that is so cool. One of the things for me is that I think you have to have a rapport with your hypnotist. So usually when you call or you email someone, you want to see how you feel with them, because as a hypnotist myself, when I'm hypnotizing someone, they're putting their trust in my hands. I mean, they're really putting a lot of trust, a lot of faith that I'm going to take care of them,
Right.
while we're working through this process. And I think you have to feel comfortable with that person, because if
Hmm.
you don't trust them or you don't like them, forget, you're not going to be able to get hypnotized.
Right.
So that's a huge one. And then also just to see, how a hypnotist would approach your problem. I remember, I had a woman call me, and she said, she wanted to be able to fly.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I understand that a lot of people have fear of flying.
Hmm.
But the way I was going to approach it was, have when the morning, the time beforehand, she'd be thinking about it, she'd be getting relaxed. When she drove to the airport, she'd get more relaxed. When she walked into the airport with her luggage, oh my God, she could feel that relaxation moving through her system. And then when she went down the aisle, and so it was like each step she took, she was going to get more relaxed and peaceful.
Okay.
And she was like, oh my God, I love that idea. So, my approach was going to be, a different way than I think she had talked with other people about. So she really loved that idea, and that's why it worked for her. But that's the
Right.
thing, you have to, talk to the hypnotist, like what, it's your session. And I think we have our expertise, but also you're a huge part of it. So I have to hear what you have to say. And if you don't feel like someone's listening to you, then,
Right.
forget
Yeah,
it. They're not
they
the
have a little
hypnotist for you.
something to do with it, right?
Right, right,
Right,
exactly.
but I think that is such an important point. And I think that even goes across the board, even when you are looking for a tarot reader, or
Yep,
anything, is that you are allowed to ask questions before you make an appointment. And
yep,
that is something that I have said so many times, because a lot of people just see it and they jump in and that's it. And then they get there and they don't vibe.
right.
And, there's been people that I've talked to and I just knew right away. I'm like, you know what? I really don't think you're going to love my reading, but here are some other people that I think that you would love. And a lot of
Yeah,
times they will go to that other person and then come back and thank me and then maybe do something else with me. You know what I mean? And
right.
it's like, ask questions. You are allowed to ask questions. Like you said, it's like, has to do with your brain. Like, we probably should ask questions before we let somebody going in there stomping around.
Well, that's it. We're changing beliefs. Like, we're working with you to change beliefs. Like for that woman with the flights, it was like
Mhm.
she's going to go to being afraid to fly to not being afraid to fly. Well, that's a big change. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, we're working with the mind, and it's our. I think for the hypnotist, and I love that you say readers too. It's the same thing. It's our responsibility to say to somebody, "I can help you," or "I don't think I'm the right person." And I,
Right.
I am also of a philosophy that we are. There's enough to go around.
Yes. No, and
So,
that's how I am. People are like, what do you mean you refer them out? Like, but then they're taking your business. And it's like, no, not really, because that's going to wind up being, if someone's not happy, what does everybody do when they're not happy these days? They go and do a review. They go and do
right.
that, or they're talking. And I'd rather you be happy with somebody else and kind of like leave me out of it than
Yeah,
have to deal with that part of it. It's a big picture thing. It's a big picture.
it
And,
is.
we are helpers, we are healers, we want people to be better and do better and feel better. So by
Right.
by referring out, then that's also helping them, and that's what it's all about when it comes down to it. Because
It
I
is.
mean,
It is.
it's a lot of work on us as well, right? Like, that's energy,
Right.
and we need to protect that as well. So I think that's really important too. So
Agreed.
for which city you are going to be talking about past life regression. So can you give us a little scoop on that?
Oh, yeah. So we do the past life regression through hypnosis. And what I usually do at the beginning is just talk about past lives because we hear about how past lives can affect our present life. But it also can bring in talents and strengths that you had from past lives. So I love to do this work where we talk about it a bit, what people have heard, maybe change some misconceptions if they're out there, or just
Mhm.
explain what it's about. And then we do a hypnosis session where I bring in a guide or someone you love to be with you if you're nervous about it. And then we'll step into a past life and take a look around and see what we need to know. It's a very safe process. I don't have people go back and see like their worst lifetime. I have them go back and see their happiest lifetime or a point in the lifetime that's really super happy for them so they can get used to it. And there's some amazing information that comes out of them, out of those past life regressions. Like people see people that they knew from that past in this lifetime. They're like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I know who that is. Or, okay, this explains why I'm afraid of water. Like I had a woman
Mhm.
who um, we went into her past life and she sank on a ship. And in
Right.
this lifetime, she was afraid of water. And she's like, oh my goodness, that's why. And we did a little work afterwards.
Mhm.
It was a private session where we could
Right.
kind of maneuver that for her to enjoy the water. But it's good information that we can bring forward and then say if we need to heal it, work on it, we can move forward with it. So, but it's really fun. I've had people see themselves in Victorian clothes, and
Yeah.
I had a woman who, in her past life, gave birth to a baby. Again, that was a private session, but she was her happiest time was giving birth. I'm like,
Right.
okay, that was a good experience to know.
Right.
But yeah, like these are things that we can go back and see, like connection. And I
Mhm.
love that because then bringing it forward, it can be a very healing process. And in a group, we're going to just enjoy the process and see what we learn about ourselves. So I'm super excited to do it. Um,
I'm
I know
excited
that
too.
Chris was in it last year and,
Uh-huh.
some other folks that loved it. So I'm glad I'm able to do it again this year.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna definitely sneak in on that for sure. I'm super excited. And I love that you
Yeah,
too, that you made sure to let people know that, yeah, I'm like streamlining it to be a positive experience because I think,
exactly.
unfortunately on the interwebs, there's lots of information and all of it not so fantastic. And I feel that,
Right.
like past life work gets a bad rep because of that. That it's got to
Hmm.
be all gloom and doom. I died in the fires and getting executed and all of that. And it doesn't have to be that. And,
No.
it's funny too, because I'm going to be talking about ancestor work. So it kind of is very
Ooh.
relatable to that. And actually, I think you go right before I do. So that's like a perfect segue
Oh,
for mine. Thanks,
awesome.
Mary.
Yay.
So, and I think even going into that too, like people are like, oh, I don't want to know my past. I don't want to know anything about that. But it's like, you know what? You don't have to dive into that if you don't want to. You can set that intention that you're working on, you're just tapping into good stuff, you're just seeing what's
Right.
there, playing around a little bit. And it doesn't have to be like this serious, deep shadow work where, you're just
Mm-mm.
not even going to be able to like get out of it. And poor Kate's going to be dragging you outside to get some air every 5 minutes. Like
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like Kate's our emotional support witch at Witch City.
Right.
So she's there for all of them. That's why I'm saying, like, we won't, poor Kate, we don't want to overload her. But,
No.
I
No.
mean, and if they do want to work deeper, then they can just go ahead and make a private appointment with you, right?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. So if they
So,
have something they want to understand, yeah, it's actually better to do that on a one-on-one because then
right.
what we do is we dialogue at that point. So I
Mhm.
bring them through the life and I'll ask them questions to kind of get the information that they're looking for. But in a group session, we want to have a good time. We want
Yeah.
everybody to see something that's really like heartfelt and exciting and just happy. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's more responsible in a group, honestly, as a hypnotist, to say to everybody
Right.
to come out with a good experience, not some very
Definitely.
traumatic thing. I just, yeah, no, no, no. So
Well,
we'll,
and I
we're
think
gonna
that,
enjoy it.
yeah, and I think that too, again, like you said, going back and just kind of knowing your hypnotist too, because there are ones like you've seen on TV that they try to like bring out all that, like in a group. And it's like some of this stuff's kind of private. You don't want to be like, doing that. So I love that you even said that too. So why don't you tell everybody where we can find you?
So you can, of course, find me on all the social medias under Mary Dalba, and my website is marydalba.com. There's no apostrophe in it, so it's
Oh, okay.
MARYDALBA.com.
Perfect.
That's how you can
Well,
find
thank
me.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm so glad to meet you, and I can't wait to see you in July. And everybody that's hanging out, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and just tag us right in the chat, and we will help you out. And now you know Mary and what she's going to be doing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thanks for hanging out with us. All right, everyone, have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.